Life can feel steady, like you are walking on solid ground. You have a job, you have plans, and you know what to expect tomorrow. Then one day, you wake up and everything has changed. This is what it has felt like in Iran. A sudden war turned our world upside down. It's like we became different people overnight, forced into a constant state of survival. The simple routines of yesterday became luxuries we could no longer afford. You stop thinking about long-term dreams and start thinking only about getting through the next 24 hours safely. This new reality changes you in ways you never thought possible. The most immediate shock was to our jobs. The economy, especially the tech industry, felt like it was crushed in an instant. Imagine a big, successful company like Alibaba, a major player in our region. In less than 2 weeks, they had to let go of 70% of their staff. That's hundreds of people, with families and bills to pay, suddenly without an income. Other large companies like the ride-hailing service Snap also had to cut back, leaving a trail of uncertainty. This wasn't just numbers on a spreadsheet. It was a wave of fear that swept through every household as people wondered if their job would be next. This uncertainty wasn't just about work, it seeped into our daily lives, making simple things feel dangerous. In Tehran, the fear was constant. You would hear about attacks, about military targets being hit not far from your home. Some people I know had their houses damaged and had to flee with whatever they could carry, heading north to find some safety. You start living with a background hum of anxiety. Is it safe to go to the market? Will the kids be okay at school? Every loud noise makes you jump. It's a heavy weight to carry every single day. But here is the strange thing about people. Even in the middle of all this chaos and fear, you see an incredible will to live. You still hear laughter in the streets. People find ways to make jokes, to share a meal, to hold on to some piece of normalcy. It's a powerful reminder that even when the world is falling apart, the human spirit refuses to be completely broken. This resilience, this ability to find a moment of joy in the darkest of times is how we survive. It's not about ignoring the danger, but about refusing to let it extinguish every last bit of light. When a crisis hits, one of the first things to become unstable is money. We used to rely on modern conveniences. Need to buy something? Just use your card or a payment app like DigiPay. Suddenly those systems stopped working. The digital credit services we took for granted were suspended. We were thrown back into a world of cash. Suddenly, having physical bills in your pocket was the only thing that mattered. This created a new kind of stress. You had to make sure you had enough cash for food, for gas, for emergencies, because you couldn't count on the banks or digital payments anymore. This return to cash happened while money itself was losing its value. Inflation went wild. Before the conflict, the US dollar was worth around 78,000 tomans. After a ceasefire, you'd think things would calm down, but the price shot up to 94,000 tomans. Now people are worried it could hit 200,000. This isn't just an abstract number. It means the price of bread, milk, and other essentials has skyrocketed. The money you have in your hand today is worth less tomorrow. It feels like you are running a race you can never win, trying to keep up as your savings evaporate. For those who thought they had a modern solution, cryptocurrency, a new nightmare began. Many people had invested in digital currencies like Tether, hoping it was a safe haven from the local economy. Then the government started cracking down. There were reports of a plan to seize $100 million in crypto accounts. It wasn't about stealing the funds, but about freezing the accounts of Iranian users. Big platforms like Tether allegedly began blocking Iranian accounts, cutting people off from their own money. The safe alternative suddenly felt like a trap. This created a panic among crypto users. The big Iranian exchanges like Novitex were rumored to be sharing user data with the authorities. Your name, your ID, even your address. The anonymity that was supposed to protect you was gone. The advice spreading through the community was to get out fast. People were told to, media group, mobile screen with Bitcoin logo, person converting Tether to Bitcoin on exchange, hands transferring digital coins at stock at distribute_equally. Convert their digital coins to Bitcoin, which is harder to block, or better yet, to sell everything for Iranian rials, withdraw the cash from the exchange, and buy physical US dollars on the street. It was a desperate scramble to turn digital wealth back into something you could hold. In our modern world, the internet is everything. It's how we work, how we talk to family, and how we get our news. During the conflict, that lifeline was cut. The mobile internet was described as a total disaster. One moment you might have a weak signal, and the next it would be gone completely for days. Trying to send a message or make a call became a game of chance. Often the only thing that worked was a simple text message. This isolation was terrifying. You were cut off from loved ones, unable to know if they were safe and disconnected from the world outside. For those of us who needed the internet for our jobs, it was a catastrophe. I had zero income during the worst of it. Some people found temporary solutions. A friend of mine had a special paid internet panel that offered a weak but usable connection, but the cost was insane, around 1,500 tomans for a single gigabyte of data. You had to choose between staying connected and buying food. We relied on circumvention tools, special software to get around the blocks, but even those were unreliable and would stop working without warning. It was a constant, frustrating battle just to get online. This digital blackout made the job market even more brutal. With local companies shutting down, many of us started looking for remote work with companies in other countries. But how can you apply for a job, let alone do the work, without a stable internet connection? I sent out over 600 resumes, a desperate attempt to find anything. One person I know managed to get an offer from a company in Pakistan, a small glimmer of hope. But for every success story, there were thousands of us staring at blank screens, feeling our skills and opportunities slip away with every hour of lost connection. Interestingly, this is where new technology like AI became crucial for survival. For developers and tech workers, tools like ChatGPT were a game changer. One friend, during a job test for a company, used AI to solve difficult coding problems and optimize his work. He got the job. It showed that even with the internet barely working, having access to these powerful new tools could give you a huge advantage. It became clear that in this new world, knowing how to use AI wasn't just a bonus skill. It was becoming essential for anyone hoping to find work in the tech field. The education system, which should be a source of stability, became another source of chaos. I work as a university professor, and what I saw was deeply frustrating. Azad University, a major institution, insisted on holding final exams online right in the middle of the war. Students were panicking. They had no reliable internet, but they were expected to log in and take high-stakes tests. It was an impossible situation that showed a complete disconnect from the reality we were all living in. The system was failing its students at the moment they needed support the most. The unfairness was staggering. Students were paying huge fees for their education. I saw one student charged 65 million tomans for a single course. You would think that money would support the system, but it didn't. As a professor, my pay was incredibly low. It highlighted a broken system where students were treated like customers to be charged, while the educators responsible for their learning were undervalued and ignored. It's hard to maintain a passion for teaching when you see so much injustice around you, both for yourself and for the young people you are trying to help. With jobs disappearing and the systems we rely on crumbling, many people have started to think about the unthinkable, leaving the country. The idea of moving away, of seeking asylum or finding work in a safer, more stable place, is no longer a distant thought. It has become a conversation people have at the dinner table. You weigh the pain of leaving your home, your family, and everything you've ever known against the hope of giving your children a future free from fear and uncertainty. It is a heartbreaking choice that no one should ever have to make. Yet despite all the hardship, there is an incredible spirit of survival. People adapt. They find new ways to work, new ways to learn, and new ways to connect with each other. We have learned to be resilient, to find strength in our communities, and to hold on to hope even when it feels like there is none left. We live day by day, celebrating small victories and supporting each other through the losses. Surviving chaos is not just about staying alive. It's about holding on to our humanity and believing against all odds that a better, more peaceful day will eventually come.